In football, value is very relative. Some players are regarded as valuable because of how much they can generate for the club in the near future, while some others are valuable because they are what Americans will call franchise players, players you build a project around. For example, Rodrigo and Vini are two of the most valuable players in world football right now. But it is pretty obvious that if very good offers come around, Real Madrid will seriously consider selling them this summer. On the other hand, there are players that, no matter how much the bid is, their clubs would not even think about selling them for one moment. Those are the players we want to talk about right now. The most obvious one right now is Cole Palmer. Following his insane performance against PSG in the final of the FIFA Club World Cup, reports said that PSG are willing to break the world transfer record and sign the Englishman for €250 million. Whether or not that is true, or I don't know, but it really doesn't matter because Chelsea are surely not selling Palmer for whatever amount. Chelsea are a selling club. Last few years, they've sold some of their best players, including Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, and recently Noni Madueke. In fact, although it won't be easy, you could actually see them selling Reece James if his injury problems persist. However, with Cole Palmer, you just can't see a sale happening in the near future. He has the potential to retire as Chelsea's greatest player, and as he showed in the Club World Cup final, he can bring the club a lot of success in the next few years, so they'll definitely want to keep him for a long time if Palmer doesn't force a move, run down his contract, or ask to leave. He'll be at Chelsea for the next decade or more. No matter how much you put on the table, the Blues won't consider selling their biggest asset to you now. Let's talk about the star boy from North London, Bukayo Saka. See, it might be tough, but Arsenal fans can definitely stomach Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard, and Rice leaving. But if the club even considers selling Saka, there will be riots on the streets of North London. Sure, Saka is Arsenal's biggest asset right now, and it feels like the fans might even love him more than they love Thierry Henry. Saka is one of their own. He was born in the city and came up from the academy. So he's like a son and a brother to the fans, and they never want to see him leave. I mean, some Arsenal fans were once asked if they'd be willing to sacrifice Saka to win the Premier League for the first time in 2 decades, and they all said no. And they all said no. One even said it wasn't worth contemplating. Yeah, that's how much he is valued over there. Obviously, the club knows his value, and we know they'll never think about selling him no matter the amount that's put on the table. But if they ever even consider selling him for whatever amount, I'm pretty sure the fans will do everything in their power to stop that move from happening. Another player who belongs on this list is Vitinha. The 25-year-old Portuguese is arguably the best midfielder in the world right now. And you could say he is the one that makes that PSG midfield tick. He is definitely not going anywhere anytime soon, no matter how much is put on the table. After all, money is not a problem for PSG, so they will have no reason to even consider the offer, no matter how mouth-watering it might be. Another top midfielder who belongs on this list is Pedri. Now that he has gotten his injury problems behind him and established himself as one of the best midfielders in the world, there's absolutely no way Barcelona will ever consider selling him in the next few years. No matter how much any club offers for him, it fits perfectly into the club's philosophy. Does the job of about 3 different players without breaking a sweat, has a top mentality, and he is already one of the leaders at the club. And we know that Barcelona is a club that usually gets super attached to their players. They never sold Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Piqué, Puyol, Busquets, or any of their legends from the previous generations, despite several mouth-watering bids coming in for them. And we think that theme will continue with this generation. Pedri has a release clause of €1 billion, so the only way he is leaving Barcelona is if he decides to run down his contract and walk, and we don't even see that happening. And that's almost the same case with Jamal Musiala. Bayern Munich are never letting him go, no matter how much any club tries to offer. The 22-year-old German international has been linked with a move to Barcelona for some years now, but Bayern have not even considered selling their boy. The only way Musiala is leaving Bayern is if he forces a move or runs down his contract. But if the decision is left completely to the club, Musiala will be at the club for 10 more years. At the very least. Another obvious one right now is Lamine Yamal. Barcelona are definitely not selling their wonder kid, no matter how much any club offers to pay for him. I mean, last year, Barcelona president Joan Laporta said that PSG offered to break the world transfer record and sign the teenager for €250 million. But the club did not even consider it for 1 second. He is simply not for sale. Lamine is obviously the player upon whom the new Barcelona project is being built. At 18, he is already one of the best players in the world. He's a product of La Masia, and he has the potential to lead Barcelona to a lot of success in the next decade or two. So just as Barcelona didn't even consider Inter Milan's €150 million bid for Lionel Messi back in 2005, they have also not considered a €250 million bid for Lamine 2 decades later for the same reason. I mean, there is a reason the Spanish winger's release clause at Barcelona is pegged at €1 billion. Finally, Erling Haaland is definitely a player Manchester City are never looking to sell, and you can tell they never want to lose him from the 9.5-year deal they made him sign this year. The longest ever contract in Premier League history. They also made him one of the captains of the club and gave him a fat salary. That right there is exactly how a club acts when they never want to lose a player. Just like Aguero, David Silva, Yaya Toure, and recently Kevin De Bruyne. We're pretty certain Haaland will never be sold by Man City. He'll probably only leave the club for free when he's old and past his prime. Just like PSG, money is not a problem for City. So even if you're trying to put a €300 million bid on the table, it won't be moved. I mean, think about it. If they sold Haaland, where would they find another striker like him? He's one of a kind, so they'll continue to do whatever they can to continue to hold on to him. Now, those are 7 players we believe who won't be sold for any amount. But another player worth mentioning is Alexander Isak. Newcastle has said that the striker is not up for sale despite interest from a lot of top clubs in Europe. Magpies have been playing hardball for a couple of years now, and we'd have added Isak to this list. You just look at him and know there's no way he's staying at Newcastle for much longer. No disrespect to Newcastle, but right now they're just not big enough to hold down a world-class player like that for so long. So if a really good offer comes, they definitely consider selling, or they'd risk losing him for a lot less, or maybe even free. Are there more players you think won't be sold for any amount at all? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye!